How's it going, boys and girls? Thank you very much for joining me, GameStube, and my good friend here called Wolfrain.
Hello!
Today we're bringing you another mod on Skyrim, mod spotlight should I say, that you guys are gonna love. Alright, talk us through it, Wolfrain.
Right, it's called Frostfall.
Alright, so what's it about?
Well, it makes it so that you can get cold and wet.
Alright, what, so basically they affect you?
Yeah.
Alright.
But it doesn't just make it so that you just get cold and wet. You actually get effects from each one. And you can eventually die if you get too cold.
So, what's the point in downloading this mod then?
Well, there are probably a lot of modders that won't use it because they don't particularly like that sort of thing. But people that like immersive games,
It's like hardcore, hardcore gamers and...
yeah, and people who just want to play it, and they're in a cold area, so they ought to be getting cold.
Yeah.
And this is just said, I am wet.
Hence the rain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's loads of rain, so I'm going to get wet, of course. But if you're wet, you also get cold faster.
And what happens when you get cold?
Well, you can die eventually.
From hypothermia?
Yep,
Yeah,
but
right.
it also makes it so that you go slower if you get cold.
Oh.
But obviously, that there is a different variation of cold.
Alright.
So you start off with just getting a bit slower, then your sight goes a bit blurry, then eventually you will die.
Ouch.
Yeah. But you can obviously wear... Hang on, I'm not even wearing one. Sorry, that was a bit awkward.
Bear with.
Yeah. You can also get these cloaks. Now there are more than just this one that you can craft.
And that keeps you warm?
Yep, these will keep you warm and dry.
Alright.
Now this is a bear fur one, and they also have hide cloaks. Hide are better for the rain because they dry off quicker and they keep you dry longer. But if you are wet, hang on, what was I talking about? Hide.
Hide, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. But they don't resist cold quite so well.
Right.
Whereas the fur ones are better in the cold, but if you do get wet in them, it will take longer to dry off.
Right. And is actually, can you see it getting wet?
Yep, you can see I've got dripping effects on me at the moment.
Right, yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yep, because I also have another mod. I know we weren't going to start off with two, but now we have because you went and said it. Called Wet and Cold.
Wet and cold.
Which doesn't actually do what Frostfall does, it just adds effects for you to look wet and cold. So if you run through a river, or if it's raining, you will drip water. If you're in a cold area, you will breathe out mist. And that's all. But if I come in here, sorry, it's a bit laggy. I don't have a very good frame rate in here. If I come over to this fire, I should get a message after I knock over a cabbage.
Well,
Sorry.
you might like cooked cabbage,
And I should get a message any minute. Okay, now it's going to take forever. Now, if I just take off my cloak, it might happen sooner rather than later. There we are. You begin to warm up. You are wet.
As you can see in the top left hand side.
Yep. But it tells me that I'm warming up. So I can actually make myself dry again if I stand by a fire.
And can you see that on your plan view or whatever you call it? Your character.
I'm not sure if I can. Well, I'm obviously no longer dripping water. But it tells you in the top corner, you feel chilly, you are damp. Whereas before I was drenched.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool.
And there is also SkyUI compatibility for anyone out there that does want to know that. We have Frostfall right here. There are different settings that you can choose from. I'm not going to change mine because I can't really remember how to put them back. So I've got particular custom ones. But you can turn off fast travel if you want to. You can make it so you can only fast travel with an axe. You can add durability to axes. There's quite a lot of different things in here.
So a lot of thought has gone into it.
Yeah, you can get WEAR, Worn Equipment Effects Rate, which means that in certain armors they give you a bit more protection against cold.
Alright, it's definitely worth the download, right?
Yep, you can obviously. There's also things like tents and camping fires, so that if you're out in the middle of nowhere, you can still keep yourself warm and dry.
Mm.
And I'm not going to go into every single detail, but there is also a guide here, such as what is exposure. Exposure is the core gameplay element of Frostfall,
Alright.
and it gives you a bit more detail there. I'm not going to go through every single bit of it. Thank God for that. But has wet and cold got one? Wet and cold.
And there you go, look at that effect.
It also does have compatibility with Dragonborn, wet and cold. So is that when it is now ashy in Dragonborn, I'm not sure if that's even the word ashy.
It is now.
It's a bit like Magic-y again.
Yeah.
But if you get a load of ash on you, or you're out in an ash storm, then you can actually get ash covering your character.
Oh, damn.
And you can start to go blind from it, I guess.
Mm.
But you get blizzard blind, you can go blurry from the rain. In this, there's quite a lot of different effects on
That's
this
pretty awesome.
one. You can also change the actor ones.
Mm.
Then you can have followers, ashes, which was the Dragonborn compatibility. You also get ash gear, dusty, watery eyes. Not very much compatibility for that one, but don't need to be,
No.
because most of it's already done with the actual mod.
Mm. Alright. So does that sum it all up?
Yep, that just about sums it all up.
Sweet. Well, whilst he's gonna have a rest with his head through the wall, I think we're gonna end it there. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. We'll be putting the links in the description so you guys can get a shortcut that way. And I hope you guys have enjoyed it. So please comment, subscribe, and like always, guys, do not forget to like. Bye bye.
Goodbye.